So this is BenQ's 32-inch 4K HDR monitor. I've had this in the office for over 4 months now, and it's given me plenty of time to use it, to put it through its paces, and to figure out whether this is a monitor you should consider purchasing. So without further ado, let's get started. So first things first, as mentioned, it is a 4K 10-bit HDR monitor measuring in at 32 inches, and it has a 16:9 aspect ratio. And if you're used to using monitors that are 27 inches or less, then you'll no doubt be surprised, perhaps even a little bit overwhelmed by the size of this screen. It is big, and it definitely has the potential to make just about any desk feel small, but once you start using it, particularly if you're a content creator like myself, then you'll quickly learn to love the screen real estate that you gain from using a monitor of this size. In fact, I think I'd find it tough moving back to anything much smaller. I just love how much I can see on my screen, particularly when I'm editing in Premiere Pro or Adobe After Effects. It just makes my workflow feel so much more efficient. The panel has 178 degrees of wide viewing angles, it's got a 60 Hz refresh rate, a native contrast of 3000:1, and a 95% coverage of the DCI-P3 color gamut, meaning pretty accurate colors overall. But if you wanted to get even more out of this monitor, then you could calibrate it out of the box, which would obviously make it even more accurate. On the back of the monitor, we have 2 HDMIs, a display port, and a USB-C port for connectivity, which is excellent. They're a little hard to access from the front though. You do really need to turn the monitor around to be able to actually connect the cables correctly, but aside from that, a solid range of inputs that will keep most users satisfied. Now, aside from all of that, let's cut the spec sheet talk for a moment and just discuss my general experience of using this monitor, particularly from a content creator's perspective. Firstly, I love using a monitor that is 4K in resolution. I know this might seem a little bit outdated and lots of you are probably already using 4K monitors, but up until this point, I've just been using either Full HD or UHD monitors, and I've never really had much of an issue with them. But now, ever since using this 4K panel for an extended period of time, I just cannot overstate how nice it is to see my 4K footage in its true resolution. If you're a content creator who works with high resolution content, then whilst you definitely don't need a 4K monitor by any means, I didn't use one for several years and it was fine. I have personally really enjoyed working with this one, and I can highly recommend getting one if you're looking to make that sort of a purchase. Now, the color profile of this monitor is actually a bit different out of the box compared to what I'm used to using on my other monitors. It does seem to be quite flat in that the blacks are more of a gray and the contrast appears to be somewhat lacking, but that is actually a result of being a more color accurate monitor. If you're a user though who does appreciate having a more contrasty looking monitor, like a lot of people out there, then I found using the Embook preset within the picture mode settings to be a setup that achieved this look quite nicely. Now, in terms of design, I would say it's decent without being phenomenal. I've certainly seen prettier monitors, but I've also seen less appealing monitors as well. This one is actually quite nice without breaking any new ground. It does only offer a slight tilt adjustment though, with no swivel and no height adjustment. So that is something I've missed having on this monitor. Now, obviously one feature I haven't really talked about yet is the Onboard Hdr. And to be honest, that's because it's a feature I leave switched off. I don't shoot with or work with any sort of HDR content, and so if I was to leave this setting on, then my content would look inaccurate, which as a content creator isn't ideal whatsoever. But if you're someone who views a lot of HDR content, then this is a really nice feature to have. In all honesty, I've really enjoyed using this monitor. It's big, it's crisp, it's color accurate enough for my liking, and with all the features packed into this thing, the only thing left considering is the price. And for what you get in the box with this monitor, I'd say it's actually a pretty phenomenal package. It's certainly not cheap in and of itself, but again, for what you get, it's really hard to find a better monitor for this price. And if you want to find out more or even buy it yourself, I will leave a link down in the description below. Before I finish up for today, just a quick shout out to BenQ, who sent this monitor out to me for review purposes. No, this is not a sponsored video. They didn't pay me to say anything in particular, but I am super grateful to have had the chance to test and review this monitor for this video. So again, a big thanks to them. Aside from all of that, that is it for this video. Again, thank you all very much for watching, and I will catch you later.